Hi, I'm Jessica and I'm very excited to bring you this video on Promenade Position. So in this video, we're going to talk about Promenade Position. First, we'll explain the relationship between our bodies with our partner when we're in Promenade, and then we're going to talk about how to lead and follow into Promenade Position. All right, so I have Cameron here joining me to help demonstrate. So first I want to describe the relationship of our bodies in Promenade Position. So when we're in closed position, dance frame, our bodies are lined up right side to right side, and we move forward or backward in the room. So one person will be moving forward, one person will be moving backwards. When we're in Promenade, we both move sideways in the room while maintaining the relationship of our spines and our shoulders. So here's what it looks like. Right now, we're in the closed position. Cameron's just going to take a couple rocks forward and back. So in closed position, we would be moving forward and backward. As you can see, I am very much on the right side of his body. We're slightly offset. Yes, thank you, Cameron. Now, if we're going to move in Promenade, we maintain this relationship of spines and shoulders, and we start to move sideways in the room. So Cameron's going to take a couple steps in Promenade to demonstrate. So as you can see, we've maintained the right side to right side relationship, which means the lady in this case is slightly behind the gentleman in the frame. Yeah? Thank you, Cameron. All right, so let's talk about how to lead and follow Promenade. So, as I mentioned, when we are in Promenade, we now have a difference between where our feet are going and where our shoulders are going. So I'm turning my feet 1/8 of a turn off of my shoulders to get my body into the alignment of the Promenade position, right? So this is as follower. If I were to do it as leader, it would simply be adjusted the other way. So I can make that adjustment one of two ways. I can, as leader, adjust my feet to make 1/8 of a turn, and that will tell my follower that we are now in Promenade. Or I can adjust my shoulders, and then I also still will be in Promenade. 1/8 of a turn difference between the feet and the shoulders, and the follower will know that this is Promenade. So there's two different ways that the leader can indicate to the follower that we are now changing into Promenade position. So first we're going to demonstrate a foxtrot promenade from bronze smooth, and this step is really well designed to show the leaders how to lead Promenade simply by turning the feet and walking sideways in Promenade position. So Cameron and I will demonstrate that figure. So we're starting out in our closed position dance frame. Now Cameron is going to simply turn his feet to Promenade and walk sideways. Yes? And then he'll turn his feet back to closed position to tell me to close up. Yes? All right, let's do that one more time. So really, really important tip for the leader. Yes, he is changing his feet to Promenade. The follower is actually receiving that information through the hands and through the hips of the leader, which are our connected points. Sometimes we don't have a full body contact, you wouldn't feel the hip, but the most important of those points that I as follower am following in this step is actually the leader's left hand. So as the leader is leading this step, very, very important that he maintains this left hand as the furthest point moving in Promenade, because as you can see, if we're traveling this way, this point is the closest in that direction, yes? So he's going to feel like that hand is moving out forward into space, and the lady is going to feel that guiding her to move sideways. Yes? So one more time, Cameron is going to turn his feet, and as he moves through space, he's going to ensure that his left hand is the furthest point out, so I can really hear cue. Ready, act. Slow, slow, quick, quick. Thank you, Cameron. So now we're going to demonstrate the exact foot placement in Promenade position, which is really, really important for us to be able to maintain the relationship of our spines and shoulders with right side to right side. So Cameron and I are actually going to set ourselves up as though we're already in Promenade position here, so we can draw attention to the angles of our feet. So the first step is going to be side relative to our own spine. Okay, and I'm staying slightly behind him, so my right side is to his right side. We've actually moved slightly away from the center of the partnership here, opening space for the second step, which is across our own foot in CBM, P, and I'm actually right behind his foot here. So we're both moving diagonally toward the center of the partnership on step 2. And now we're going to go back to closed position, just as we do in the foxtrot. Yes? Thank you, Cameron. Yeah, so again, when we're opening to Promenade, the first step is actually going to be sideways relative to our spine. The second step is a small step, always has to be very small, in line with my previous foot. So that's called CBMP, yeah? And then I can go on to whatever I'm doing to continue the figure. Yes. All right, so now we're going to take the figure Simple Twinkle, which is in your bronze American Waltz and Foxtrot, There's two different methods of dancing that step. The first one that we'll show you is where the leader will turn his feet to promenade position, which indicates to the follower that she should be dancing in promenade. And then the second version is an option where the leader will turn his shoulders but maintain the direction of his feet. Yes? So first we'll show you the version where the leader is going to turn his feet. All right, so he's going to step forward in regular closed position. Yes? He steps sideways and then he turns his feet and we'll close in promenade position here. Yes? Now we're going to do the same thing on the exit. We're going to step forward and across in the promenade. We turn our feet as we go side and return to our closed position. So same exact lead, same exact principles apply here. It's just done at a slightly different time in the step. Yes? But again, he simply turned his feet to indicate to the lady that we're going to promenade between the second and the third steps of the figure. Yes? Now the other way to demonstrate it is where the leader will maintain his foot alignment. So typically on a diagonal. So if I'm diagonal to the camera here, the leader would maintain his foot on the diagonal, and between steps between number 2 and number 3, he would rotate his shoulders 1/8 of a turn to indicate to the follower that we're now in promenade. As you can see, the direction of the feet has been maintained, but he simply changed his shoulders to tell the follower that we're in promenade position. He then, between steps number 4 and number 5, he's going to return his shoulders to the original position and close. Yes, so Cameron and I will demonstrate that. Yes, so here, Cameron is going to step forward. Now he's going to start turning his shoulders to send me into promenade, and then we close here. Yes, so now this has involved some rotation for me as the follower. I've actually gone around him to maintain the right-to-right relationship. Yes, now he's going to step across, and he's going to turn his shoulders again to get me back into the closed position. Yep, so 2 ways of leading and following promenade position. All right, so I'm going to give you just a couple final tips and also some solutions to common errors that we a lot of times see with new people that are learning to dance promenade. So the first is with regard to the head position. So as you can see, when Cameron and I have demonstrated the foxtrot promenade, there is a very clear head change for the lady into promenade, and the timing of that is that the head actually goes with the feet. Yes, so if I demonstrate as lady from the back, yes, when I turn my feet to promenade, I actually turn my head as well. Yes, so feet and head go together. I'm maintaining the shoulder position that I originally had. Yes. Same rule would also apply for my leader. So my leader's head change will not be as great because the gentleman has his gaze slightly to center or left of center to navigate down the floor, but he does want to slightly change as he walks into promenade. So his change will also be as he opens the foot, he can look slightly more to the left so that he can see where he's going. Yes? So again, the nose and the toes will go together for that transition. A couple other errors that we commonly see from our leaders, there's 2 with regard to the left hand. I've noted before the importance of this point for the lady to follow. So 2 things can happen. The leader can actually overextend the left hand, thereby we really distort the postural relationship and the relationship with the partner. Yes? So he's actually tried to lead with the hand rather than changing the feet and moving the spine through space and just maintaining that left hand out ahead as the furthest moving point. Yes, so the change is actually very, very small and very precise. Yes, so I maintain my posture, my position between my hands. I simply move into promenade by going sideways with my nose and my toes and carrying the rest of the body along with that. And I think sometimes the leaders are a bit worried that the lady or the follower is not going to get enough information to read that, but I can assure you that the lady will get plenty of information. She'll feel this point moving sideways and she's like, oh, we're going sideways. Yes, so that's really the main place that she's feeling it, and it's definitely sufficiently clear. So the other error that I see from the leaders, which is definitely related, is they feel, because they feel this connection on the right side with the partner, they feel that this arm needs to do a lot in promenade. So a lot of times we get sort of this rounding happening with the shoulders. The leader's kind of trying to shove the lady from behind to show her that promenade is happening. Again, that's totally not necessary. So this right hand is just simply going to stay in place, cradling the follower's shoulder blade, and then both hands will be moving through space in this direction, which gives her all the information that she needs. Super, super advanced tip for this right hand. Sometimes there's almost a sensation of a slight rolling of that right wrist that can be helpful because the lady's shoulder blades sort of rotate as she goes into promenade, so your hand conforming to that change in her back as she starts to turn her feet, but not her shoulder blades, can give her a little bit of extra indication and also just mold what she's doing. So, common errors for followers, it's really along the same lines of doing too much. So for my followers, commonly what I see is that they just turn everything. Yeah, so as you can see, I've turned my shoulders and I've turned my feet. And so now if I'm to dance a Cameron here, if I show you here, let's go ahead and step into Promenade Cameron. So here I've just turned everything a bit too much, and now we've lost that very nice relationship that we had in our upper body. So what I need to do is isolate that rotation in just the lower body. Yeah. Second common error that I see from followers, actually getting out ahead of the leader. Yeah. So my followers oftentimes, I apologize, Cameron, go ahead and dance that promenade for foxtrot. They're gonna like get out ahead of him. Yes. So what that does is it means we're not going to have space for our legs to come through in those foot positions that we talked about before. Yeah. So I need to stay behind him slightly to maintain the right side to right side, so that I've got room to get my foot through when we take that second step across in promenade. Yes, so there's actually not a lot of space for us to maintain this position and move sideways together. So the biggest thing is that these adjustments that happen are very small and very precise. And done at exactly the right time, and then it's actually super clear for both leader and follower what needs to happen. Thanks so much for watching this video.